Sorry, I always do like this random like Canadian accent, like top left, I nearly failed uni. Like I dead ass nearly failed uni though. Like, do you know what? I don't know if I want to keep that in there, but anyway. Okay, so I have a microphone on, so I really hope you guys can hear me. Oh God, I've been needing to film this video since I basically graduated uni, because I'm not gonna lie, I wish I had one to reference. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a video that's not makeup related, not beauty related, but it's personal. Like, it's an educational kind of video, and I've been really wanting to do this video because I really had a hard time at uni, as in like I nearly failed uni, like dead ass nearly failed uni, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, so today's video is going to be focusing on uni and how it can literally be like one of the worst experiences and also one of your best experiences, if that makes sense. Like, it's such a flip-floppy kind of state to be in, a place to be in general. But I think having like a steady, how do I say this? I think it's more like being able to navigate university, especially being a black girl. Like, it's hard, but in general uni is hard, and I feel like a lot of people aren't told just how difficult it can be. Over on my Instagram, I did a poll yesterday just asking you guys if you felt like uni was necessary or not. So that's gonna be my first segment of this part of this video. So I did a poll, and I asked, do you think uni was or is necessary in general? We got a 55% for no, 45% for yes. And I understand why a lot of people have said no, because the way that the world is currently working, it really depends on what you want to do. But then the issue with that is you're asked what you want to do when you don't know what you want to do. So I feel like in general, the current system that we have of like 18, decide what you want to do at uni, go to uni, start your life. I feel like that's kind of problematic in the sense that you're asking kids that weren't allowed to vote, weren't allowed to drink, weren't allowed to hire a car, still aren't allowed to hire a car until 21, like all these big things to decide for the rest of your life at 18. And at 18, you're still figuring stuff out. And I know there's nothing in place that's gonna help us kind of like get an example into the working world or dabble into different things. I know apprenticeships are really good for that. Like, they do give you an opportunity to kind of like work first, get your qualifications and build from there. But being asked to go straight to uni after everyone's been telling you what to do for the majority of your life, not ideal. Needs to be revised. And before I also go into my side of it, I also asked you guys a few questions. Well, I asked you guys one question, and my question was, uni, if you've been to or are currently in uni, what did you struggle with? And I feel like this is really important. It's going to tie into like how I kind of overcame my university issue. And some of the answers were time management, balancing social life and studying, attending seminars, anxiety about speaking up in class, assignments and research, stress and anxiety related to assignments, planning life after uni. So what I want to do is those questions, I'm going to open up another poll on my Instagram over the next week, and I'm going to do a second part which is going to address these questions a bit more in depth, like having asked other people like how they felt. But what I want to do is I don't want to jump straight into like my uni experience and all that stuff, because a lot of people will tell you uni experience videos are often like, yeah, when I did this, worked hard, got my degree. No one really kind of like talks about what they actually got. Like, how do I say this? So people will post videos or say stuff like, yeah, uni was hard, but I worked out, got there in the end. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I want to break it down. I want you guys to know just how much I had to go through to get this degree. So I went to the University of Kent. I'm gonna post little pictures of my graduation. And so yeah, also if you see me holding this up, that's because I've literally just been like, I don't know if you can see, like I've just been like writing notes on all like the stuff to do with uni. So I just wanted to like make sure that I had something to reference. So I was talking about everything that I know I want to talk about for this video. And so I went to the University of Kent. I studied law LLB, so it's a qualifying law degree, and I received a 2-1. And for those of you who don't understand the grading system, I'm just going to break it down for you. So you have a first class honours, which is a first. You have a second class honours, upper division, which is a 2-1, which is what I got. Then you have the lower division, which is a 2-2. Then you have the third class, which is the third. And then you have a fail. So, which is under 40%, because you need 40% to pass. So I got a upper second class, so upper division 2-1. Now, this is the part that I think a lot of you want to understand. How did I go from being classified in a third to getting a 2-1 close to a first? So I'm going to explain my journey from first year, second year, third year. I'm going to try and wrap it up quite quickly. I don't want this video to be too long. I do want to kind of like, if I do have to go in depth, I will do an in-depth video of like each year and like that. But I don't know if you guys want to see that. Leave a thumbs up or a comment if you do want to see that. My first year, as everyone will tell you, is you go out, you drink, you do this, you do that, you live your best life. Went to Barfest twice, you know what I mean? Like, do what you want. But, and people often say, yeah, first year doesn't count. Like, you can just like do what you want. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, first year doesn't count. Because the way things are broken down is, realistically, the grading system, second year and third year are the 100%. Second year and third year are split up into different portions depending on what uni you go to. Some might be 50-50, some might be 70-30. It genuinely just depends on how your uni does it. So you need to know that, first of all. When you're applying to a university place, check how your university divides your years. For some degrees, your first year does count. For some degrees, it doesn't technically. But I want to go into this in depth on another video regarding when you're applying, you realize your first year kind of does count. So keep that in mind. Okay, so first year, I didn't do too badly. I was averaging in the 50s, a few 60s. It wasn't great. Like, it wasn't first class, you know what I mean? It wasn't first class, but it was good enough, you know? Then my second year, I bit off a lot more than I could chew. You know that video, got too much dip on the chip? I had too much dip on my chip. My mum always drilled into me, having extracurricular activities shows that you kind of like, you know, are more than just academic. You are practical. You are able to apply the things that you learn. And I was part of the ACS, I was a secretary, and I had so much on my plate. I was really struggling. Like, I would have frequent breakdowns. I would frequently just could not handle the pressure, and that reflected in my grades. So I had to resit an exam. Like, yeah, I had to resit an exam, and this exam was worth 70%. Third year, oh my God. I dealt with a lot of personal issues. My mum was in hospital so my mum was in hospital for like 4 or 5 months, and she was very, very unwell, and this was in my third year. So obviously I was dealing with the pressures of third year being the year that I had to bang, and then I had my mum unwell, so I had a lot to deal with. And I also then went through personal issues, like private personal issues, like, and it was just like, this year really wants to come and kill me. But as Burna Boy says, I can't come and kill myself. Like, it's hard, but you will make it through. I'm a living testimony of that. Entering third year, I had essays that were at 45, 35, 50, 55, in that range. Like, I hit 60 maybe 2 times in my second year. Like, I did not do well in second year. First of all, my first tip to you is recenter. And when I say recenter, I mean you need to reboot. You need to reload everything that you currently know. So the first thing is remember why you are there. Do you have a goal you want to reach? Is there a career you want to do? Is this just a stepping stone? What is this uni to you? Because I think a lot of people go to uni because they think, I have to go to uni. But do you need to go to uni? That's the question. Do you need to? So before, some of you, if you're watching this and you're not at university, rethink what you want to do. talk to someone. Talk to your mum, talk to your dad, talk to your teachers, talk to your friends, talk to someone you trust. And for my people them, I know talking to your parents about not going to uni is not easy. One funny thing is, I laugh now, but my mum, she does like a lot of like motivational stuff, so she speaks about all this stuff, and she knows, she's now of the mind that you don't need to go to uni to be successful, you don't need to go to uni to be okay, because a lot of the times our parents not force us, but they want us to go to university, because for my parents, my dad was always like, I don't want you to suffer, I don't want you to struggle, I want you to have the best foundation you can being a black woman in navigating your way in this world. When I graduated, my dad said to me, you know what, if you want to go do cooking, do it. Because for him, I was now safe. I was now able to start the path and the destiny for my life, because I had set myself a foundation. So whatever you do, set a foundation. Understand what your foundation is, because when your foundation is broken, it is scattered, it will not hold up. Don't go to university if you know it's not for you. Remember, university is always there. It is always there. Like, please don't forget that. Uni is not going anywhere. You don't need to go when you're 18. You can be 25 and start uni. You can be 35 and go to uni. When you are ready to learn, then go. Then begin that journey. Don't just do it because everybody else is, because you will, and I promise you, you will regret that if it is not what you want to do. That is my first thing. So recenter, refocus. So the drive my family have to do well, I cannot now come and be mediocre regardless of what I do. I could have done any degree, I could have done any kind of apprenticeship, but I need to make sure that I do it to the best of my ability, which is what leads me on to my second point. You need to have a system, a support system, a system that can kind of help you to understand. And I think it's important for us to be able to talk to our parents and to kind of start the conversation of, I'm not doing so well right now, uni is hard, yo, I ain't gonna lie, like it's not easy. And I am fortunate enough that I had a parental system that understood that. My dad was like, listen, if you're struggling, stop reading the book, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get nothing in your brain. Like, I'm telling you that. Don't keep reading that book and you don't know what's going on. Take a break, step away, walk outside, watch a YouTube video, watch my YouTube video, don't forget to subscribe. But you need to take a break, and having a support system that enforces that idea of protecting your mentality, your mental health, who you are, keeping your sanity is very important. So that's my second step, looking at having your support system. So that kind of stuff, those 2 points were more of the personal, spiritual side, you know, getting it together, like zen. You know, like that's what that side was. But now we're moving into the territory of, you are not doing it correctly. Okay, like, oh my gosh, I wish I knew this in first year and in second year. Like, oh my God, like I just want to shake past me and be like, oh my God, you're not doing it right. And this is not to say that there is a one way to do it. This is a formula way. I was not doing it right for me. You need to look at yourself. Your friends could be in the library. From one of my friends, my good friends, he is incredibly smart and he did so well, amazingly. He would be in the library from 8 a.m. to 8, like first person in the library, and he banged it, and that worked for him. For me, it did not work for me. I found that following what other people do in the little things will not actually help you do well for yourself, because that works for them. That's an individual thing. Just like how university works for some people, it doesn't work for others. It is dependent on you. So I looked at my grades and I was like, okay, Tender, second year sucked. First year wasn't the greatest, even though it doesn't count. What did I do well in second year that I can now apply to third year? So I looked through everything I did, and it depends on how your university works again. Some courses might require that you have to do fixed classes. So for me, I had my fixed classes from first year to second year, fixed. Then third year and a bit of second year, I had choice. So third year was complete choice, second year I had choice between two. So now, a tip that I would give somebody is, if you know that you do better in essays, in choosing, do modules that weight more in essays. If you know that you do better in exams, choose modules that weight more in exams. Don't make it hard for yourself. So I chose, for my third year, I chose modules that were more weighted in essays, had a better chance of getting a better mark and building in essays. So I picked modules that, one, I enjoyed. This is another point, picking stuff that you actually feel like you want to learn. Do not pick stuff just for the sake of picking stuff. That is where you will go wrong. You think everyone else says you need to do this business module because it's going to be better. No, if that is not for you and you don't think you're going to enjoy it and you don't feel like you need it, don't do it. Like, don't. I was smart and I picked some modules that looked at business, then I picked some that focused on other issues that I cared about. So pick what you enjoy so that when you're doing it, you are happy. My mum always said to me, do things with happiness in your spirit. When you do things with annoyance, like your mum sends you to go wash the dishes, like, oh, goodness, I gotta do the dishes. You're not gonna do it properly because you don't wanna do it. The things that you do properly, you want to do. The next thing that I want to kind of like give you guys an idea of how to focus, utilize your seminar leaders, your lecturers, academic advisors. It's very important that you find out the resources that you have at your university. If you have people that you can speak to about maybe needing to get an extension on something, go and talk to them. If you need to ask your seminar leaders to kind of look over your ideas, go talk to them. If you need someone to read over your essays and see where you might be going wrong, go and talk to them. Because I did not utilize any of those resources until my third year, when I realized I was sinking. Like, I was sinking at the bottom of the ocean and I did not know how I was going to get back to the top. We often don't utilize the things that our university provides because sometimes we may not know they're there. Sometimes we may feel like they won't understand. Sometimes we think that it's not going to help. And that's not true. Obviously, you're wondering, 35 to 85? Yeah. So the module that I got 85 in, a module called Race, Religion and Law. And it's kind of focused on different areas where the law intersects. And I focused on an area that I felt important to me, which was the racialization of Black bodies and the way that it's legalized to kind of discriminate. So what I did was I aimed to do more research than I'd ever done before. I assessed, this is what I was talking about, see where you're going wrong. I assessed the way that I approached my essays. I did the essay plan and I didn't think that I had done that badly, but I got a 50 something in my essay plan. So this was the start of third year. So I was already thinking, I'm off to a bad start. I'm not gonna freaking get a 2-1. I'm gonna fail, all this kind of stuff. And I said, you know what, let me go speak to her. She sat me down. We talked through my ideas. We talked through my points. We talked through the way that I was kind of like tackling the question and how to actually answer it, because this was an extended project. In doing that, we had a proper conversation about the way I was addressing my essays, how I was answering my essays, what I was doing and all that stuff. And I kind of realized that I wasn't actually doing what I was being told to do or how they wanted me to do it. And it's also important to speak to the people that you know will be marking your essays, because then you will see how they will mark you and what they look for. So if you now understand the way they think and how they want you to get to a point, you're going to be able to answer your essay questions and essay titles in a way that is actually going to get you the marks that you may never have thought you could have gotten. So this moves me on to the main issue. If you are struggling with essays, are you answering the question? I think that sounds so dumb because everyone does P, point, evidence, explanation, you know, that kind of stuff. But the thing that I started to change in my essays that got me to getting these high marks was in that every point I made was to answer the question. If I picked something up, if I saw something, I would return it to the question. The other issue, which is time management, is key. Research goes in hand with time management. You are given at the start of the year. You are given, most cases you're given when your essays will be, when they are due, when you'll have some assessments throughout the term. You are given that information. That is not something you have to go and search the hills to find. You can literally find that on your syllabus. What I did was, in my third year, I printed out every single syllabus I had that had the information with regards to when my assessments were, when they were due, if I had anything in between. In doing that, I was able to set time frames for myself that you can strategize as to how you address what you do. In university, I know you're given so much freedom that you don't have to go to seminars and you don't have to go into lectures. But this goes back to recentering, knowing why you're there. Don't lose focus, don't lose your purpose. And I know when it comes to anxiety and stress and depths of depression, there's so many things that can take over you. But seeking the right help, which then goes to your network. You see, it's building in, seeking your network. If you need to go to a counselor, speaking to university resources, talking to your friends, talking to people you trust will be a stepping stone to getting better. What I did was I got myself a diary that you write in. So it looks like this, but it's red and it has all the dates. And what I did was I went through my diary and I made it a point to myself to ensure that I wrote out everything that was due, when it was due, how many weeks I had in between. And I learnt that it was very important to have something that you can physically see. In my diary, I would say so you get your essay questions mid-October. University gives you the amount of time that they see on average you need to write a decent, well-written essay that you can get first in if you really try. That's also something, firsts aren't easy to come by. Don't think you can just do bare minimum and get first. You need to put in the work. It does not come for free. So they give you ample time. That's one thing I can genuinely say. They're not going to give you your essay titles 2 weeks before the essay's due. They will not do that. So take your essay titles, take whatever tools you need to create your essay title, depending on how your modules are working, and space it out. I would give myself, it's about 3 weeks of research, 3 weeks of going through the syllabus, 3 weeks of going through the recommended reading, and then also the required reading. Those two lists will help you because you're seeing what kind of pattern they want you to go in with regards to how you address an essay, how you address questions, and how you're going to get those marks. If you do not, this is something else. You are given a big essay. Your references and your notes do not even have one of the recommended or required books. Read the recommended and required reading. Apply it to your work. And then if you now don't agree with it and you want to show your academic side, find other readings that contradict that reading and have a discussion, have a debate, show your lecturers and your seminar leaders that you are actually engaging in the course material. Because if you don't do that, they're not going to see that you've done the extra mile. This leads to the next point. Look at the marking criteria. How are you going to fall into those bands if you're not doing what they ask you to do? So yeah, when you look at the marking criteria, are you actually meeting the requirements for those grades? Because you cannot sit there and say, I put so much effort in, but you're not doing reasoning, you're not doing extensive research, you're not showing depth of knowledge. These are all things that can be put on a marking criteria. If you're not showing that, you will not get those marks. It's plain and simple. Look at your marking criteria. Set yourself time to actually do the research, to do the reading. Now, another point is how you revise. For me, what I did was I found that writing everything out, typing everything out, I was able to retain information more. If I didn't understand something, I would go back and try and teach myself, go back and read again, realizing that if I don't know something right now, it does not mean I'm stupid. It just means that I need to take more time to learn. This goes back to don't do what your friends are doing because they can learn another way, but that's not you. Find out what works best for you and for yourself. What I also did was I got the revision books, I got the main core textbook, and I tried to draw out what the both of them were saying and explain it in my words. Because when I'm in the exam, I cannot regurgitate everything, because if I regurgitate everything, I'm not answering the question. I try to create questions for myself. I would do that. I would learn something, try and see what kind of question they might have, and also, you know, that idea of reading the practice questions. Yeah, do those, because the practice questions give you an idea of how they're going to structure essay questions, how they're going to structure exam essay questions. This will give you the foundation. Like I said, universities give you time to do your essays. They give you enough time that they find that over the years have found is enough to do a first class essay. So if you have that time, utilize it. And then that goes back again to what I said beforehand, realizing why you're at uni so you can structure your time. If you feel like you want to party all the time, you are not at, you did not be at uni. You could be at home partying all the time. You did not need to come to university. When you realize what you want to do at uni, you can focus, you can structure, you can do what you need to do. And that goes into this other segue of, how much time do I spend doing uni work? How much time do I spend on my mental health? How much time do I spend socializing? This is an individual thing now. I cannot tell you 2 days in a week, socialize with your friends, you'll be fine. I cannot tell you 4 days in a week, socialize with your friends, focus on your mental health, you'll be fine. You need to find the balance within yourself. Look at yourself, learn yourself, understand who you are, understand what your needs are, and place yourself into a situation where the people that you care know that. They know that you need to focus on school right now. They know you need to focus on your mental health right now. They know you need that social aspect, because those are 3 things that I feel are very hard on university students. One of the things that I would also say is, another thing that I did was, I don't know if a lot of people know about things like this, but vision boards. Vision boards, my mum hammered it into me. Make a vision board, make a vision board, make a vision board, see what you want to see, da, 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 da. All this stuff of, oh, if you don't see it, you're not going to believe it. I think I want to go into a more in-depth video into that as well. But having a vision board and writing down things really helped me. I did this thing where because I understand the words of affirmation and all this other words of affirmation, visualization, there's so much stuff that goes into this way of thinking that helped me as well, that I really feel like I need somebody else that can help talk about it. So if anybody out there wants to collab with me, they see this video, please shout me if you know what I'm talking about. One thing I did was I went onto my laptop and I wrote on my laptop, Tender Zawira is a 2-1 degree holder. I kept seeing this every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day. Every day I opened my laptop and it gave me a drive. Now imagine you're seeing every single day what you have envisioned for yourself. And that now gives you a drive to do the best that you can. And it's important to be realistic. Don't shoot for the stars when you're driving a car, because cars don't go into the moon. Cars don't go into the sky. If you're shooting for the stars, get yourself a rocket. Use your rocket to fly high. Think about it. What are you doing to allow you to do the things you want to do? Are you putting the work? Are you putting the effort? Are you putting the time? Things don't come to those that sit there. One thing is, the devil makes work for idle hands. You're sitting there doing nothing. Those who sit around doing nothing are most likely to fall into areas they don't want to be doing or to be in. Do you know what I mean? So it's important to not be idle in what you do, regardless of what you aim to do. Your aim could be, I want to increase my grades by 10%. That could still mean you're in the 2-2 category, but you just want to increase your grades. Or I aim to have my essays handed in 2 weeks before the deadline. Try not to hand in your essays 2 minutes before the deadline. It's going to give you stress. You're anxious. You're not able to properly focus. You're not able to properly do what you need to do. Do not be idle, regardless of how big or how small your ambitions are. Do not be idle, okay? If some people may feel like, well, I'm at uni now and I can't change. How are you telling me that I need to only do what I need to do? So if you're in that position, what I would say the focus should be for you is to be well. Your happiest points are, if your essay is a 55 and you're okay with that, that's fine. If you just want to be able to complete this module, that's fine. What you need to do is to be able to complete whatever goal you set for yourself. Like I said, no matter how big or how small. So it doesn't matter if you're not reaching 85. It doesn't matter if you're in the 70s. It doesn't matter if you're in the 40s. It doesn't matter if you're in the 50s. What you need to do is to structure things in such a way that it's going to benefit you, because it's how you want to see yourself. Yeah, remember, when you go to graduate, they're not calling up your mate's name, not your mum's name, not your dad's name. They said, Tatenda Fadzai Zawira. Nobody else went up to get it but me. It's about you, how you structure, how you focus, and how you dedicate your time. I know there's so much more that could go into depth with all this stuff, and if you feel like I've missed out on anything that you kind of want to know a bit more, I spoke about how I assess the situation, bucked his boy in bare locations, how I assess the situation in the sense of how I restructured things. I chose modules that I knew were good for me, how to properly answer my essays, how I spoke to my lecturers to see how they want essays to be answered, looking at the syllabus, looking at the grading, how what you need to get into each band, like all that kind of stuff. I know there's so much more I could say for each topic, but this video would be 3 hours long and I don't want it to be too lengthy so that I don't lose your engagement. So if you want to see specific topics talked about and spoken about, please write them in the comment bar below, and I can actually see what you want, because if I don't see what you want, I will not know what to do. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it helped you in some way. I hope you were able to kind of like see how what I tried to implement into my life to get from 35 to 85 and win an award. I mean, I did it, and I'm just a tender. Like, I'm literally just me. I'm just this 22-year-old girl that is struggling and trying to figure out life, but I'm making it. And I know you guys can too. I have so much faith in all of you. You have got this. If you need someone to talk to, I'm there. Twitter, hit me up. Instagram, hit me up. See you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please share with someone who might need a word of encouragement, somebody who's struggling, because it's not easy. Like, it's not. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope to speak to you guys very, very soon. Bye guys.